Research just came out looking at how autistic adults experience touch, not sight, touch, and what the differences are between autistic and allistic humans as it relates to touch that we choose and touch that we receive passively. So here's the autistic group and the allistic group, and you can see there are measurable marked differences between the brains. This has to do with our default mode network, our central executive, and our salience networks specifically. It is a fact that autistic brains have a different relationship to our salience experience. That's the experience of Shen, the experience of water, the experience of fluidity, the experience of balance in the third dimension. I don't know how many of you also feel somewhat alien in all of this at times. When we receive sensory information, any input, that goes first to the salience network and it goes, this is pretty simple. We'll just send it down to the default mode. Or it'll go, oh, this needs a little bit more activity. I'm going to bring it forward into the central executive. So in autistic brains, there's a lack of hold on. Sorry about that. So autistic brains do not experience neural pruning the same way that allistic brains do. I'm going to guess it's a factor of tech, media, and industry that creates the lack of balance that many humans experience if our divergences in our brain are more leaning towards the default mode network, because the default mode network is the ground. The salience network is how high the thing is, okay? And the central executive is a wall, a mirror, a door, something. So if we're experiencing touch, that is not occurring through our visual cortex. That is more aligned to the pineal pathway, the pathway of the pineal gland. It comes into the eyes. Our visual cortex does its job, but also our retinas are doing a job, and they're sending information into our spine. It goes into our first three vertebrae. This is happening with everybody, by the way. Before it comes back up, boop, and then there it is, and it tells the pineal gland, this is light, this is dark, please secrete the melatonin. The pineal pathway is inherently saline because it's not based only on what is visible. It is based on what we can perceive. This is going to be more tactile. This is going to be more emotional. Oh, and by the way, this is going to be more difficult to measure in the third dimension. Some might even say impossible. So the alignment of the default mode, the central executive, and the salience network are to Jing, Qi, and Shen. The alignment of the visual cortex is to the visible spectrum, the rainbow. The alignment of tactility and how you and I actually experience our body minds in space-time is going to be unique to the individual. And the more densely packed our canopy is, it just makes it more densely packed. There's more places to go. So anything that gets bubbled up to the fucking salience network is aligned to this metal element. That goes with our nose, that goes with our body, not with our eyes. And that is the first pathway in the brain of everybody. And these folks really need to get into a social model of disability and a more social model of consciousness, because they're going to stop looking at the deficiencies and they'll be able to see the connections more. The whole sensorimotor cortex was remapped in 2023, and those scientists were looking at neurotypical brains, and it was so much more complex than they thought. They were like, we have to completely redo how we understand sensorimotor. Yeah. Okay. Also, stop believing in brain death, please.